Well, I mentioned that I talked to lots of people, and one particularly famous pro coach who had done broadcasting for many years told me this. You know, Jim Hackett, you didn't just get a great coach. You got the best coach in football today.
Jim Harbaugh was plan A, B, and C for interim athletic director Jim Hackett, a guy who once famously sat in Bo Schembechler's chair with his feet on his desk and would later play football at Michigan, lead them to the Rose Bowl. This program is now in his hands. Harbaugh gets a 7-year contract with $35 million, much less than what was originally reported, $2 million in signing bonus plus incentives, and an AD review at the end of the year. There will be deferred compensation, so it could be more and more and more. Despite taking over a program that went 5-7, Harbaugh believes excellence is in the immediate future for Michigan, in part because of the men who came before him.
And I'm pleased to have such a tremendous foundation to stand on. And that foundation was built by Brady, by Lloyd Carr, by Gary Moeller, by Bo Schembechler. I feel like I'm standing on this foundation that is so rock solid. I feel like I'm standing on the shoulders of tall men.
Well, some of those men were in the crowd during today's press conference. So was our Larry Figurski. He joins us live from Ann Arbor. Larry, I would have to imagine Lloyd Carr, Gary Moeller are pretty happy to have this program in Harbaugh's hands.
Yeah, they certainly are, Jack. I had a chance to talk to each of those gentlemen at some pretty good length this afternoon, and both said, you know, when he was a player, Jim Harbaugh, that is, you could see that coaching potential, the way he handled himself, as a lot of quarterbacks do, but his push for perfection to make sure he knew his job and everybody else's, and his incredible leadership. But what Mr. Carr told me today, what really amazed him was the way that Jim was able to cultivate that and improve on it during his early coaching stops at San Diego, of course, and then in Stanford, and eventually with the San Francisco 49ers.
What are you most looking forward to seeing in a Jim Harbaugh team?
Well, what I know I'm going to see in a Jim Harbaugh team is great competitiveness, and that's how you win. You know, you may lack this, you may lack that, but if you are competitive, and Jim Harbaugh's teams, if you watched them, found a way to win, and you don't do that unless you're competitive.
It'll be a team that obviously is never going to quit, and they're going to do those simple things and do the fundamentals well.
Those guys are excited, Jack. So are some of the players, namely Shane Morrison, quarterback, who was here from today for the news conference. We'll have that for you coming up tonight at 10 and 11. For now, live in Ann Arbor, Larry Figurski, 24-hour News 8. Jack?
All right, thank you very much, Larry. Shortly after the press conference ended, Harbaugh received a rousing welcome from Michigan fans. He said a few short comments to them, told them he loved them, and asked them for their support. Kept it pretty quick, but fans very excited about this. You can see the student body decked out in Harbaugh's dad pants. I'm wearing them too today. Second half, Aaron Crosby with a three-pointer, and they were down by 11 points to Illinois. But Aubrey Dawkins comes off the bench, hits 6 three-pointers in this game. That pulls them to within 3. Then Karis LeVert inside to Doyle, and they're up by 1. This game goes to overtime in OT. LeVert kick out to Zach Irvin. Drains the three-pointer, and Michigan wins in overtime 73-65. The other Big Ten game going on right now, Michigan State has a 25-23 lead over Maryland. That game in the second half, and that has been some less than stellar basketball right there. All right, back to college football, where right now all that buzz on Michigan, we're forgetting that Michigan State's playing in the Cotton Bowl. This game coming up on New Year's Day against Baylor, and yeah, that'll be interesting to see. But they're playing a huge bowl game nobody's talking about. It's all Harbaugh.
We'll see you tonight.